Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your first round of season number 3, the Sim Racing World V8 Supercars, Super 1 and Super 2 combined from the streets of Montreal. My name is Scotty Radogun Rankin, alongside Mr. Todd the Chef Thorburn, and with Nathan Howard on broadcast control. It's another fine night from the streets of Montreal here, place that holds a Formula 1 race, which a few of us will be staying up to watch later on this evening. Toddy, I hear you're a Formula 1 fan.
I am most definitely a Formula 1 fan, and it was great to see qualifying George Russell get into the his first pole position, so that was quite cool. Seems he's got a bit of form in that car now, so which is good to see, so it'll be nice to see later on. But yeah, this is a very different track in these cars versus the F1 cars. Trying to pedal these things around, hey?
Yeah, stop it, point it, rotate it, try and get back to the power, lift out of the power, try and get back to the power again, screw it, shift up, short shift to gear, get back to the power for the third time. That's pretty much my experience of running around Montreal. Curbing everywhere. You're going to see the drivers utilize all portions of the road. V8 Supercars tend to like a little bit of curbing. You're going to attack those chicanes nice and heavily. The pace around here is set about how risky you're willing to get with not only the walls, but also with those curbs. Should the car fail to settle properly, the Wall of Champions is going to reach out and bite you real quick.
Yeah, as we saw in practice there, everyone coming a bit scared of the Wall of Champions, but then spinning it on the exit because they just failed to squeezing on the gas rather than just trying to push on the gas, trying to get a really good exit out of there. And it's one of those points you really want to be squeezing on the gas, not pushing it on. Whoa, I got someone off into the wall there.
Was that Cowie that I saw in the wall? I saw purple. That makes me think Cowie.
No, it looks like it was Michael Locke there. One of my good friends.
We've escaped giving Cowie shenanigans again after the stream for seeing him buried in the wall. He had a torrid time the other night in the Radicals. Nothing could go Cowie's way on Thursday night, but it looks to be doing so tonight. From the front end of town, things are pretty bog standard as it appears. 134.191 for Darren Loeb. It's a good second back to the next entry of Tixier, followed by Jamie Dyke, Turner, Schultz, DeBono, Martin, Keane, DeGoey, Quash, Dawson, and the list goes on. That's how they stand at this early stage in qualifying, but still, I believe, we got 10 minutes left to run so far?
We do, just about that, just under 10 minutes now. We've got a bit of,
There's
a bit of damage on the side of that car.
There's a car park, a pit lane exit at this point in time, as 3 separate cars basically just came to a stop and waited for the field to file on past because they didn't want to interrupt cars that are on a hot lap. Well, there's going to be cars.
Kyle Turner sitting in 5th there. I think he was on a bit of a burner there too. So hopefully they haven't slowed him down too much, but very respectful for them to get out of his way.
Yeah, it's doing all you can. I mean, the street circuits, it is quite tricky to get out of each other's way, and when you're on a hot lap, not something that you really want to be doing, particularly if you've just got those tyres up to temperature, everything's going well, you might have taken a cool-off lap to let those tyres settle a little bit before you have another push lap. Huge pack of cars on their way down to the hairpin at this point in time as well, so again, track positioning on a tiny street circuit. Minute 30 is the lap time around here, so very tight, twisty, and you're going to come across a whole host of cars trying to get that free track to set a lap.
Yeah, just trying to stay out of the melee with this many cars on track tonight as well. It's going to make for very interesting racing, just especially when it gets to the pointy end of the race as well. When you get all those overlaps of the Super 2s as well from the Super 1 guys, it's going to be very, very interesting being such a short lap, and might look like there's a lot of places to pass here, which there is, but not so much in these cars because of curbs, right?
Have a look at the melee coming down into the final turn at this point in time. There was Darren Lobb. Oh, car all out of whack in the background. Who was that? It was Dylan DeBono trying to pick up the throttle coming off of the final corner. That nearly ended in disaster in the Wall of Champions. At least it's qualifying. There'd be an opportunity to reset, get a new car, and get back out there for some laps. But that is a moment he will be wanting to avoid come race.
Mm-hmm. And I'm loving that livery as well, throwing back to the days of old. It's a remake of a classic old livery, isn't it? So it's quite cool.
Let's talk about these sessions here tonight, the race sessions in particular. Not opting to go for a 20-minute and a 40-minute sprint. We're going to be hit with a 60-minute race straight up for these guys. Dylan DeBono still getting held up by, I believe it was Bruce Tannock directly in front of him. So that has hampered DeBono quite aggressively. Indeed, DeBono is going to abandon the lap because he needs to buy himself some track speed. He wants to be up underneath Bruce Tannock because he wants to be getting that draft, but then the car wiggles on braking for the second chicane. So for the third chicane, it's just not going to Bono's way on this qualifying attempt.
It doesn't look like it, does it? We know he's got some serious pace. He just needs to get some clear road. It's going to be very hard with this many cars on road. Oh, and Mr. Paul there's just caught it just at last second. So good work there. He's going into the pits. I know he just pulled up.
Change of underwear required in that car, I think.
I think so. I think you should have just cut out the middleman and worn the brown one straight up.
That's a Deadpool reference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're settling in. Hope it's nice and warm wherever your viewing is from in the world. Please do feel free to let us know. We love entertaining our international viewers. Flashing lights there from the 38 of Keane, trying to set himself up for a lap. The car that was
in space by the look of it.
Yeah, I was going to say the car that he's trying to flash at there wouldn't have been able to see him yet. Oh, Bruce Tannock was parked off of turn number 2 as Dylan DeBono just went past him. So ultimately, again, DeBono's still getting hampered by cars in awkward places he doesn't want them to be. So another lap potentially might be aborted for him. Everyone's struggling to the point whereby Darren Lobb has gone with a 134.4 very, very early on in qualifying. Indeed, was his second lap, has not set any other valid laps so far in the qualifying session, is a second quicker than the next entry. And
wow.
I think that comes down to track positioning. You've got to get a clear run. And with, what have we got? 25, 30, 37 entries on the track. That will include 2 race controllers in that safety car. So 35 entries on track with a minute 30 lap. There's 3 seconds basically between all cars if all cars are on the track at once. So troubles finding that clear air to have a go that's going to be the mission for these guys. It may take you 4 laps. I would just lap probably a good 5-10 laps worth of fuel in the tank and just be out there circulating. If you have to abandon a lap, abandon the lap. Find yourself some fresh air and go again. Whilst if you're resetting in the pits, you're losing that warm-up lap.
Yeah, 100%. You're losing tyre pressure, losing warmth in your tyres, etc., etc., etc. You know, better to keep it out there. These cars do take a little bit of time to get their tyres up to temp, as well, as we all know. So you don't want to be shooting yourself in the foot and jumping back, getting too frustrated and then jumping back to the pits too often, I suppose, too, eh?
Talking about track issues, I believe Lobb was just about to have company in the background. He was doing a great job at setting himself up for a lap. We'll keep our eyes up and down the field. Daniel Fritz it was that arrived on the scene in a real hurry to find a car where he didn't want it. 869, and Fritz has just gone around on the run into the hairpin, trying to make way for Michael Quash, just outside the top 10, who is on an absolute flyer. So Darren Lobb has found himself probably 10 seconds worth of free track at this point in time. Whoa. That's Lobb just out through the windscreen here of Quash. So he's done a phenomenal job. He's watching that relative, and he's probably got a track map up as well at this point in time. Keep our eyes out for Jamie Dyke, who's going slowly, so he's abandoned another lap. In third place, Sebastian Tix has just overtaken another car. He may get away with that one, so there's a few guys that are going to be on fast laps at this point in time, but I did not expect to see a full second be the margin at the front end of this field. That sounds like somebody sent Darren Lobb out there with a different set of rubber. Did you hear about the difficulties they had with qualifying for the wildcard entries for this weekend at down at where are they? They're at the Bend Motorsport Park. Yeah, so the 2 wildcard entries of Zach Best, and I forget who the other one was, effectively got a batch of very fresh, just finished, hot off the press tyres. The rest of the field may have gotten like 2-month-old tyres has been sitting there ready to go. So Zach Best came away with a qualifying on pole, with, which you would not expect from a rookie in only his second race. The V8 Supercars, but
he was in Super 2s, wasn't he? He was dominant in Super 2s, wasn't he? Yeah.
Well, that's his second race in the main game series. A pole position was not what you were expecting. Multiple cars still on laps at the moment, still trying to get it right. Sebastian Tix is just locked up going through turn number 2 at this point in time. At the moment, you're looking at David Coleman, who's entered into the NASCAR Truck Series from tomorrow night. Don't forget that will be returning to your screens for the only road course round of the season, complete with a NASCAR rule adjustment. You'll have to keep with us tomorrow night on Monday to see how that all plays out. 101 having a go at this point in time. Looks like Clutterbuck is on a flying lap. We'll see how his lap time goes. Keep your eyes on the bars across the bottom of the screen. Brad Wall just completing his fastest lap so far. Dave Thornton's coming up, getting close to the line. Matt Keane is not on a fast lap at this point in time. Stefan Lawrence is yet to complete a time as well, so he's bailed out of that attempt. So keep your eyes on the updates to qualifying attempts at the bottom end of your screen. Dyke is on another lap, but again, not going faster. Does not improve.
It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard to get a bit of space here and a bit of clean air.
Yeah, that's what it's coming down to. And a car that has not set a lap yet has just rolled off the pits just in front of Jamie Dyke. So I have to keep our eyes out for that one. It is busy. Keep your eyes on that track map. These drivers, if you're a professional driver here, if you're in the Super 1 category, you're potentially running 3 seconds a lap faster, let alone if drivers ahead of you are having mistakes. So you've got to time it right. And so far, only one driver has managed to do that. Tixie just went quicker in that beautiful 070 car. Gets a lot closer. Now the margin is down to 0.8 of a second to Darren Lobb. But he had free air that time. He should have gone quicker. I tell you what, he has gone purple, which means the fastest sector of the session. And that's from the hairpin all the way back to the start-finish line. So a really good Sector 3 for Sebastian Tixia. He's got that thing dialed in now. So unless Darren Lobb has found just a tweak in the setup, he's got something right.
Might have just been getting in the groove. He does have some clean air, though, doesn't he, Lobb? So you never know. We might be expecting an extra quick lap from him next one.
And I think that'll be it from Tixie. He's just towed back to the pits, and with less than a minute left in qualifying, that will be his qualifying attempt done. Brad Wall will start his next lap, which will also be his final lap, so keep your eyes on that one. Cars coming through the final sector. Qualifying nearly as busy as the race for us up here in the commentary booth. And have a look at that car in the background. That is going to be Jamie Dyke starting his final lap of the session. He got across the line with 10 seconds left. There is not much time at all as cars, a whole bunch of cars starting to try and attack and get back to that line. The 640 of David Coleman may not make it. Session time is up, so any car that crosses the start-finish line now is done. The 101 is done. 51, 640, all done. Final laps from the entire field here. Nearly tags the fence for Jamie Dyke. Doesn't matter. Run over. It will be P3 at best for him. He hopes that nobody behind him will go any quicker. Keep your eyes on the driver on board at the moment. Tanak has been quick so far on this lap. He's had maybe not the best first 2 sectors, but Tixier went quicker in the final sector. It was a good enough for P2. Has he got what it takes, Bruce Tanak? Gets it, turns in, rides the curbs nicely, accelerates on the run down to the start-finish line. What's it going to be? P5? And remains P5 for Bruce Tanak. Does not improve on the time.
Still top 5. Pretty good in this field, which is very impressive drive from him. Very, very nicely done.
This is it now. Keane. The run out of the final hairpin. Just one more chicane for these drivers to navigate. Kai Turner did go quicker in the first and third sectors and will improve his time. So he'll jump ahead of Bruce Tanak. So Tanak will regret not going quicker on that final lap. Brad Wall, sorry, that wasn't Brad Wall. That was the 38 machine pulling out on that one. Dave Thornton's going to have a crack at improving his time. What's it going to be for Thornton? Does improve in the final sector. Does not improve overall. Sorry, my apologize. He does 5 spots improvement. That's a great lap there from Thornton at the last. And cars have now all just about crossed the finish line. I believe there's 3 cars coming through the final chicane. The 67 of Dean Sinkovic is going to be the last one of those. Sorry, Steven Sinkovic.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
On the run to the flag. He will be the last car to cross the line. Does he improve? No. And look at the brake lights glowing. Big lock up in the first turn. So, qualifying run and done. That is the grid as it will stand for the 60-minute race to kick this season off from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal. And the streets here, could they cause chaos? Are we expecting a safety car? Toddy,
I
what are
think
your
we might be.
thoughts?
I think we will be. I think that wall of champions might become the wall of annoyance tonight for a lot of them. Because I think there's going to be two things. Everyone's going to try and use that exit as much as they can, try and avoid the wall, or they're going to try and completely avoid the wall and then end up spinning it on exit. So who knows? Just not commentator cursing out there, but you know, I'm predicting at least 2 tonight. That's my prediction tonight.
Well, good news. Drivers will not be starting back in the chicane, so everyone will be starting the race from the front stretch. And here it is, your Pagnian Advanced Simulations, DSL Welding Services starting grid. Darren Lobb and DragonRC as well get that one in there. Darren Lobb caps it off with the only driver to get into the 134s, a 134.491. Sebastian Tixier lines up on the outside of row number 1. Jamie Dyke and Dylan De Bono from Fishy Motorsport and Momentum Sim Sports, number 3 and 4. Kai Turner, the K-Tech Motorsports, number 5 entry, alongside Bruce Tanek. Turner set a phenomenal lap late in the session to dive into that top 5. Moving back to David Coleman, a great qualifying performance from another 50 Motorsport entry alongside Matt Keane from SLM Motorsports. Daniel Schultz and After Dark Sim Racing 64 alongside Stephen Martin are your top 10. Then we throw it back to the first outside the top 10, Alan Dawson from Riot Sim Racing, and a strong qualifying performance from Andrew Cowan sees him in P number 12. Dave Thornton is going to be off of the row number 7 alongside Daniel Clutterbuck in 101. Petar Pavlovich is going to be alongside Andrew Lang, Michael Quash, Reese DeGoey, Stefan Lawrence, and Paul Gerlin are your top 20. Mr. Mal Pole and Jeremy Babush are T21-22. Brad Wall and Dean Sinkovich, both in the Team SRW Motorsports entries, off of 23 and 24. And finally, throwing it back to the final row of final page of the grid, Callan Hodgkinson for Crisscross Racing, Daniel Fritz alongside of him, Greg Leake, Greg Johnson, Team Greg. Look at them together on the starting grid. You think there'll be some team orders on the way to turn number 1. Ty Delaney, Steven Sinkovich in 29 and 30. Michael Locke, Stefan McCartan is your safety car driver. Blake Delaney, Grit Barber, and a few more entries. Lights are now starting to come on as the revs start to build. The first start of the season, and it's a quick one from the starters. Those lights just hit and filled red before they were released on the run to turn number 1. Your Pulsar Lob will lead us through the first left-handed, followed by your right-hand hairpin. Jamie Dyke shows the nose on the outside of Tixier, but it's going to be Tixier that comes off turn number 2. Chaos in the background of the field. There are 5 or 6 cars that have all been caught up in an incident before the first chicane. We'll see if they can get themselves sorted out. And there's another car, huge shot to the outside barrier of the course. But Darren Lobb's got control of the field the first time through the second chicane tonight on the run down to the bridge. And the GoDaddy signs already. Another car sideways. That was P number 4. Dropping backwards quite aggressively. Have a look at Cowie drive up through the field. He's had a phenomenal start. Huge wreck! There's going to be a safety car for sure.
Daniel Schultz.
Track is jammed. That's a better save.
It's going to have to be a safety car, surely. Wow, that was Daniel Clutterbuck got caught up in that. Steven Sinkovich got caught up in that. Ty Delaney got caught up in that. Wow, that was massive.
The Century Batteries, Pulse Racing Team entry there of Reese DeGoey, not looking fantastic. Well. Smoke everywhere. Tanek, maybe it was Tanek that was actually around, that was in P4. It was the car immediately behind Jamie Dyke on the exit of that second chicane. Safety car has now been called. Questions are immediately coming out for whether or not pit lane will be open. The drivers will all be looking to get back there as quickly as they possibly can. Everyone chills back out. Standing starts at Montreal when you've got 35 cars trying to file into turn number 1. We'll see how they sort themselves out.
Oof, 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 oof. So we'll go back and have a look at a few replays and then that mid pack and see what happened there. Thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for the action replay.
We're going to get a ride perhaps on board with Ty Delaney to see what he had to look at. Great launch there, but 2 cars up the road from him didn't even get going. And this is nearly identical to what happened.
It's real life. Wow,
My word. My word, I think all three drivers actually towed very quickly there to prevent a pile-up. They've actually done reasonably well. Drivers attempting to look after each other. What did Michael Locke see? He did get rolling, did get a little bit of a getaway, but got boxed in and had to slam on the brakes. My word!
Whoa. That was identical to what happened today in the V8 Supercars. Wow, hey.
Oh, dodges out to the grass. That'll be an overtake off the circuit. Attempts to rejoin.
Oh.
And that's one of the Sim Racing World entries. I believe that's Steven Sinkovic.
That's Steven, yeah.
But straight back across. Is that a fishy driver?
It is.
That is Blake Delaney. Didn't get a qualifying lap in.
Oh no, and then got caught up in the back melee. Wow, hey.
And it just continues. The chaos still unfolding.
That's David Thornton, yeah. Stefan Lawrence seems to have gotten a bit cropper up a bit further ahead as well.
So what's actually happened here is just keeping an eyes on live at this point in time. Three cars. The first three cars have gotten clear, the safety car. The first three cars are on their way down the start-finish straight at this point in time. Darren Lobb filing through the pit lane. Safety car did not get out of the pit lane in time to collect the leader.
Oh, wow. Okay, cat amongst the pigeons now.
So effectively, if you remember the Bathurst drama from David Coulthard, I believe it was. Was it Fabian Coulthard? Sorry, Fabian Coulthard. Where he was back in the field up. We've ended up with nearly an identical situation here because the safety car has caught effectively P4. Have a look at these guys race around as quickly as they possibly can because Lobb has gotten effectively a free pit stop and Tixier and Jamie Dyke will want to cash in on that free stop as well.
Oh, it's a bit of
he's still got
F1
P3.
too. Well, he's still up in the P3 though. Kind of mirrors a bit of F1 there as well, slightly, as well. So getting the old free pit stop and coming back around to the end of the field. But still keeping that. So this is Bradley Wall, on board with Bradley Wall. Thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for the action replay. Whoa,
big piece of the curve. That's a great job. He's pulled that up out of the way, and Brad will sit there. There's another melee going on behind.
Greg Johnson is just locked up, trying to stay out of it, I think, by the look of that. Oh, Brad Wall.
So the biggest issue we've got now is the whole field is sort of going as hard as they possibly can to catch back up, because the quicker they can get to pit lane, the quicker they can get a pit stop served. So remember, Darren Lobb has got a full extra 2 laps worth of fuel in here.
Oh. He's going to run away with this. If he'll get some clean air and he'll run away with it. It's going to be very hard for these guys at the back to catch him once he gets up to the front.
Trixier's pulled the flip-flop on this one, though. You've seen Jamie Dyke peel off and dive to the lane for that extra couple laps worth of fuel. I think... No, so Lobb has gone back through. He's the only car to pit so far. Trixier will maintain track position at this point in time. Jamie Dyke will probably resurface somewhere around P4. Oh, it's going to be tight. He's on his way out of pit lane. He might clear. He may hang on to P3. If he resurfaces in P3, that is a huge strategy play from Jamie Dyke. And indeed he has.
Beautiful.
By the skin of his teeth, Jamie Dyke.
Stroke of genius. You got to say the Fishy boys are great with their teamwork. Their spotters are great. They definitely work together a lot. So big ups to those boys pulling it all together tonight. So Jamie Dyke, mate. And another member of our BC team, new member of our BC team, also Jamie Dyke.
BC and race control team. So he stepped up this season to help out the league.
So very, very good.
Well, 6 minutes, 29 seconds into this race at this point in time. And already safety car on track. Already the drama has unfolded.
Massive.
Would you like to take us through the order here, probably, Chef Toddy?
Oh, of course. So we got Mr. Sebastian Trixier. I'm assuming that's how you say it. It's pretty quite cool French guy. So that's Sim Racing World there. Also got an American in the lobby tonight as well, which is pretty awesome. John Day down in the 17th position. He's actually up 20 positions from his starting position. So he's definitely profited there from that. Darren Lobb sitting back into second now with Jamie Dyke behind him. Coming out of the pits with that beautiful move, coming out of the pits into third place. Followed by Daniel Schultz. Seems like he's kept out of the melee at the back there and made up a few spots, 5 spots now. Mr. Clutters, as his license plate name says, Mr. Clutters is up 9 spots, along with Michael Quatch. I hope I'm saying that. Quash is up 11 spots there in 6th place. Peter Pavlovich in 7th place, up 8th place, 8 places. And 13 places is Mr. Malpal, up 13 places in 8th. And 9th, we've got Andrew Lang, Dylan DeBono in 10th. Paul Gerlin in 11th. We got Dean Sinkovich in 12th. He's had a great run. He's kept out of it also. He's up into 12th now. Wow-wee. So he's gotten up into the spot that Cowie ended up qualifying in, but obviously Cowie had nowhere to go earlier, so fortunately slid down the order quite a bit. Gerard Sanfuentes, up 22 spots, mate. Gerard, well done, mate. Jeremy Bush in 14th, 15th, wrapping up at 15. Top 15 is Daniel Fritz. Stefan Lawrence seemed like he got caught up in that early incident, so he's back out. He's back out of the pits now, and he's back in the running. So he's one to watch because he is pretty quick. He's up 3 positions from where he started. Didn't have the best qualifying, obviously. It's always hard when you got that many cars on track. And we've got John Day in 17th place there. 17th place. We've got Greg Leake in 18th, David Thornton in 19th, and Kyle Turner down in 20th. He's one to watch. He's very, very fast, but he obviously didn't get the best qualifying and then got caught up in that, that 5th onwards melee at the start of the race there. So
I'm just having a quick look back. There's a few cars that have already opted to serve potentially some of their fuel requirements for this race. Safety car looks like it might be starting to accelerate. No, it's not accelerating away from the field. Myers, deceive me for a moment. Just taking a quick look through the field for drivers that have taken a drive through pit lane. So we will be going back to green this lap. Kai Turner, Andrew Cowan in P20 and P21 are the first of the drivers way back down the field. Obviously, with the exception of our leaders, Dylan DeBono as well, in P number 10 at this point in time, has done a pit stop. And Darren Lobb and Jamie Dyke have both served pit stops at this point in time. Callan Hodgkinson, Alan Dawson, looks like basically from Dawson back. So Stephen Martin, Reese DeGoey, Matthew Keane, Blake Delaney, David Coleman, Bruce Tannock, and Nathan Gardner look to be the drivers that have currently been through the pit lane. Nathan Gardner, of our safety car driver. So field is now in Tixier's hands. We'll see if Sebastian can hang on to this spot from a hard-charging Darren Lobb. It's going to be an early getaway. It's going to be a late getaway. Is he potentially going to give it the beans halfway through the chicane? That would throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Most definitely would, because I'm not sure if Sebastian actually had enough clean air to get as fast as lap he could have maybe done. So who knows? Here we go. Back on track. Let's go.
And the critical thing is keep your eyes in the background. Do they all make it through the Waller Champion chicane for the first time? The run down into turn number 1. So Tixier will lead us away back to green. Waller Champion seems to be very placid. Taking it nice and careful. Just filing through there and back to the lead of the race. It'll be curious how long Darren Lobb wants to wait around, hangs around. Where's he going to get this move done? It's very tricky to get a pass done. Chaos down in turn number 1. Cars backwards once again. The Pulse Racing team entry. DeGoey once again is backwards. It's not been Reese DeGoey's night. Blake Delaney is not having a great night either. He's around and backwards again off the tail end of the pack. So many cars coming unstuck in the opening laps of the restart as well. So it looks like Tixier has control of the field. He's running quite well in clean air right there. Lobb not closing, not getting... Oh, there's a huge wreck! There's a huge wreck from about 20th position in nearly the same spot. Cars scattering everywhere. 46 is involved. 5 of Kai Turner's involved. And I think Turner may have already taken his fast repair. That may be night over for Kai Turner.
I think it might be. Looked like a pretty big hit there.
We're going to get an action replay on board here from Kai Turner. The exit of the chicane. And there's a car going slowly, and they just catch up to him at the wrong time. Nobody is really aware. Turner's got to escape it somehow, because if he just parks it there, it's even worse. There's sometimes as a driver you do have to hold the brakes, and sometimes you've just got to get out of the way as quickly as possible. He's done a great job doing that.
Net code there. It seemed a bit strange.
Still crawling all the way back to the pit lane. Still on his way back there. So the pain continues for the number 5 machine. But back up at the front end of town, it's still Tixier, followed by Lob, followed by Dyke, and they've pulled away to the tune of about 5 seconds. Clutterbuck has jumped a whole host of spots. Started off, what was it, P14 on the grid. He's got a huge gaggle of cars all caught up in behind him. From Clutterbuck in P4 all the way to P16 is Daniel Fritz as they cross the line. He's the tail end of that pack. So a few of these guys might be fuel saving. A few of these guys might be from the pro end of town, might be trying to push on. Dylan DeBono, that is, just in front there, trying to pull the car up nice and cleanly. Props a few guys up behind. They'll try and get back to the gas. Down the inside, that's a difficult move. He's got to get underneath the bridge here, trying to squeeze him off and prevent the move, but the nose is going to be shown here. Will he managed to get down the inside? He's got priority at the apex, and he's managed to force the move there. He will get it done. A car going slowly. I think that was Daniel Schultz.
Schultz. Schultzy. Might have a problem with that car.
He's back up and running. Just. So Schultz has got away with one. Brake disc of the car ahead. The Locked On Lads entry were absolutely glowing on the right of the chicane there. And Dean Sinkovic
just had a big moment there.
And I think that's going to knock the left rear toe link out of alignment, and that might be a forced pit stop for Dean Sinkovic. He was running so well in the SRW livery. Now keep your eyes on Brad Wall, flying the flag for Team SRW Motorsports. He's down the inside here, might not be running quite as much wing as the cars ahead. He's going to leave the nose in there. Is he going to be showing respect at the apex here? A little bit under braking, but he's checked them both up now, Brad Wall. He won't get the drive off of the corner.
But it was great, respectful driving from both of them, especially coming through the Wall of Champions. That could have gone a lot more disastrous than it did. So it was very respectful from both of them getting through there.
Tixier will continue to lead back up in front, mind you, from so positions are still as they were at the front end of this one. Cowan is going backwards a little bit at this point in time. He was a long way up in the field earlier on, and unfortunately not going potentially Cowie's way, but he has served some of that fuel. I was looking at the fuel numbers. 50% is the maximum fuel tank so far tonight. That should force a stop for everyone in the field still after they've already served a stop under pace car. That will not get them far enough into the race.
And 60 minutes on these tyres, I don't think the tyres are going to last either, not in these things. I could be wrong, but what would you think?
A drive-through penalty has just been issued, I believe, to car number 16. If I heard right.
So
David Thornton, who's already in the pit. It was David Thornton indeed, so who has immediately disconnected. So Thornton's night was not going well. He may have had some repairs that he may have had to serve, and he's done. So Delaney's on his way through the field, trying to see if he can pick up a few spots. He has caught onto the back end of this pack, so that's a really good recovery effort from Blake Delaney.
And he's got two of the Fishy Motorsports boys right ahead of him. And Blake's son, Ty Delaney, is 2 cars ahead of him at the moment in the 07 car with a bit of damage there. But great little drive from him so far.
Oh, Greg Leaks spun around on the inside. Wall of Champions strikes its first victim, and it's one of the Team Greg entries. And here comes Delaney. Keep your eyes on that battle pack. Car missing its rear wing as well. Delaney might have a go at David Coleman here in a second. Ty is holding both of these guys up. So you got 3 Fishy Motorsports guys all bumper to bumper. Will some team orders be applied for Blake Delaney to find his way through? Talked to them multiple times previously. There is no team orders over there, and Blake will have to force his way by.
Oh, look at that, eh? Dad trying to get past the son there. There we go. Mr. Coleman's got to get past there first, though, eh?
Yeah, so Dylan DeBono now on board with Paul Pavlovich just in front of him. DeBono's looking really racy on the rear bumper of this one. This will be a battle to keep your eyes on over the coming laps.
It seemed like Kai Turner there just is having a bit more trouble at the back there again. It seems like he's got a bit of damage on that car. He slowed right down. So who knows there, but...
Finally, Blake Delaney gets past son Ty Delaney, so maybe some team orders were applied after all. Ty just said, hey boys, I don't think I can keep the pace up. You guys take it. We'll keep up with you as best as we possibly can.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a moment from John Day at the back of the field there too, so he's dropped right back. A bit of a moment, so
Take us on board, Toddy, because this is an amazing circuit to do a lap around, and we might even get the opportunity from the onboard shot. Dylan Tabono is going to get overlap on the left-hand side here, sends it down the inside into turn number 1. Is it going to be hanging it around the outside? No, Pavlovich has yielded, and Dylan Tabono will sweep away with the spot up into P6, and now starts to look to Quash just ahead of him. Quash and Clutterbuck up a whole host of spots, and Tabono will want to clear them quickly.
So nicely done. Tabono just biding his time, trying to stay out of the trouble as much as he can. But I don't discount Mr. Peter Pavlovich in the KFC car behind him as well. He's really finding his feet, Nat Holden. Now, entered that team, started with that team about halfway through season 2 there. So he's still got the KFC Holden and the Ford Mustang now. So both of them are definitely 2 to watch. But both definitely having mixed races today compared to each other.
Well, nice and deep here down the inside. Moves in really late at the apex from Dylan Tabono. Forces the issue. Quash is going to get a really good drive off the outside and come back at him. Tabono and Quash are now level heading down the straight. Still has the nose just about there from Tabono. Might be running a smidge less wing as they enter the straightaway. Now they're on the run to the Waller Champion chicane, and Tabono running less downforce later on the brakes. Will take... Oh, did they make contact
there?
I don't think there was. I think that might have been just a downshift. And Quash just spat it sideways into the pits.
Oh, no.
Drive
just under the
pits.
pressure, eh? Ooh, might have just been cracks showing there. Only 19 minutes in. We've still got 40 minutes to go, 41 minutes to go, guys.
That looks like a diff lock. I'm gonna say that looks like an inopportune downshift for Quash.
Yeah, he just didn't blip on the downshift, but look at that.
Oh, it's on the grass. On the grass on the left-hand side. That's what it was. Just a half a wheel worth of grass at the rear, and the thing pivots like you would not believe. So, might have thought Tabono was at fault there for half a moment. Didn't look bad from the angle we're looking at. The other angle will clear Tabono of any wrongdoing. Right, Blake Delaney on the drive back through the field and started in P33 and has driven his way monstrously through the field up to P19 after the early chaos. Blake Delaney
making the
has
move.
Picked up a black flag. He has actually picked up a black flag for an issue at turn number 1 on the restart. So those cars that were all parked backwards at turn number 1 on the restart, Blake Delaney may have had something to do with that.
Wow, that's massive news. Okay, something we must have missed slightly there. So here we go. That's very, very unfortunate for him. Oh, we got Mr. Keane, was it? And John Day having a bit of a moment. Wow, you don't want to be parked on the racing line.
He's done. He doesn't want to move because there is literally a whole horde of cars. He's got a little bit of clear track right now, and he's back against the fence. He's going to leave it there. There's 3 more cars coming, and then he's clear. And Delaney's going to come down and serve the penalties straight away.
And Callum Hodgkinson with some massive damage on the back of that.
That's
needs some panel beating on that Mustang.
That's very smart from Delaney. If he serves his penalty straight away and there's a safety car, that brings him straight back up to the pack.
True, very true, very true. So I think we'll have Cowie here use his fast repair, maybe, and coming into the pits there.
John Day has now received the okay from race control to tow, and the action just settles for 5 minutes. We can't keep this up. Not for 60 minutes here, Chef Toddy.
This is crazy, isn't it? This is absolute craziness. How much action, and we knew it was going to be action-packed on such a short track with so many cars on it, but that's why we wanted it. It's so much more exciting, I believe. We've had a lot of excitement tonight.
What are your thoughts on pressure cookers? Because, Toddy, it's been a pressure cooker out there on track tonight.
Oh, it has been, mate. It definitely hasn't been simmering away, has it? It's just been under pressure the whole time.
Bit of salt and pepper just to really, get things where they should be?
I think so, but I think they've seen adding too much chili to the broth tonight, it seems. You know?
Would you prefer a little touch of basil, maybe some oregano?
Yeah, it's something maybe just to calm it down a little bit, you know?
Just garnish it. Just pretty it up just as you serve it up onto the plate.
Exactly right. You know, you need a bit of oh, that's not the sort of garnish you want to be doing. You don't want to be off in the parsley there. Well, we
don't want to be off in the... I was going to say, the weeds are out there, but just because it's green doesn't mean you want to serve it up on a plate, but I think that's one better.
Exactly right. Wow, wait, but he recovered very, very nicely there. So it's very, very hard to get back on. Once you've got a bit of stuff, a bit of grass, or a bit of passing on your tyres there, it's a bit hard when you re-enter the track there. And we got father and son here just giving each other lessons. Ty just giving his dad a lesson right now in the number 7 time.
Park it on the apex down here. Park it on the apex, don't let him by. Daniel Clutterbuck was running up in P5. That looked like a car rejoining the track. That didn't look like somebody who was on the racing surface.
Oh, yeah. Was that Dylan DeBono?
So it says something about Jamie Dyke has dropped off, but Dyke is still on P3. So this will be Clutterbuck. Look at a great shot of it. It's trees. It's very hard to get good camera angles around here. You've got to be down at track level. Oh, big lock up.
Big lock up from Clutterbuck.
Well done.
Dylan DeBono's made that pass there. And Dylan DeBono, as we said, he's just very patient. He's made it back up to his original 4th qualifying position. So I think he'll be a lot happier now. Now the real push is on for him. He's going to have to really push to try and catch these guys now.
Blake Delaney's just jumped in the pit lane. He might actually be able to get home from here. So he's filling the car. He spent a long time in pit lane, though, so I don't know. There might be something more going on there.
He was driving that penalty also. So.
Well, he's already served the penalty, so that's out of the way side.
Right.
So this is Dean Sinkovich of SRW TV Motorsport versus Greg Johnson at this point in time. This will be a battle for the age. Delaney will roll off pit lane in the other side of the circuit at this point in time. So it was a regularly scheduled stop for Delaney. He serves his drive-through, gets the thing filled up with the fuel. He will go a lap down, but his compulsory stops are now out of the way. Chance of a safety car as the field spread increases starts to decrease, but with the circuit of Montreal, you never know what's around the corner.
Oh, you definitely never know, especially with the Wall of Champions and that hairpin as well. Definitely very hard to get right.
Delaney's pulled over in pit lane again. Something's wrong. He's got a hardware failure, I would say. A pedal failure, a brake failure, something's not working, a child misbehaving. Other than the one out in circuit with him.
Is Mr. Darren Lobb going to be able to make this move stick? He's been hunting the back of Tixier for the last 2 or 3 laps here. So since they've come back off the safety car, he's still trying to make this move. But it seems like Tixier is getting a few better exits than in certain spots on this track. So who knows? You never know. Lobb might be just biding his time, using the draft to his advantage as much as he can right now. Oh, big moment!
Huge moment. Tixier will box, get in, serve, get that tank filled up. Maybe, Laz, maybe it's a 2-stopper.
Oh, maybe. I think it might be. Hey, but look at this. Oh,
That's
look at those red hot brakes.
Now, would that explain Darren Lobb sitting there in behind Tixier, just letting him have it? Might be fuel
100%.
saving, just see if he can go to the end from another stop. He gets to the half an hour mark. He's in the question to see if he can make it to the end. So keep our eyes on the fuel burn for those drivers. It's critical. Alan Dawson's going to come down to pit lane. Yeah, so this is regularly scheduled stops starting to happen for these drivers. The fact, though, that it's only 1 or 2 cars each lap says to me that these guys might think they can get home from here. I think they can. Otherwise, why would you be putting?
Yeah, exactly right. I think Lobb, it's definitely not Lobb's first rodeo, if you know what I mean. So I think he's planning something big here. So he's going to push from now on.
Petar Pavlovich and Mr. Sanfuentes are going to go head-to-head here over the next couple laps. It's been a phenomenal drive so far from Petar. We'll see if he can hang on to this one. It's sitting in P5 at the moment. Can Sanfuentes spoil the party? Got a little bit of a run. Wants to show the nose. That's a spooking tactic. Wants to force the error from Petar, but Petar's got other ideas. He's going to park it firmly on the apex and say, hey, if you're going to get this move done, you have to make the move yourself. Great run off the chicane, though, for Gerard Sanfuentes. He's up the inside here, and the opportunity has been created. Can he seal the icing on the cake? Does so nice and cleanly. Now the response gets back to the power nice and early from Petar Pavlovich. Has he got something to say for Gerard Sanfuentes? He's got the inside line. Got a little bit of momentum here. It's going to be contested all the way to the apex of the Wall of Champions chicane.
And that, believe it or not, this is Gerard. If he can make this happen, this is his 30th position he's made up from the start. Crazy. He's back into the pits now.
So that'll be a driver going, yep, I can definitely make it to the... Yeah, these guys can make it to the end. I'm betting money on it at this point in time. So Andrew Cowan and that looks like Mr. Dean Sinkovich going head-to-head back in 22nd and 21st. Timing's going all over the place at this point in time. So as you can clearly tell, bear with us through technical difficulties. Dean Sinkovich making the most of the front tyres. Making the most of putting a flat spot on the front tyres as he'll try and pick up the throttle and defend from Mr. Andrew Cowan. Great battle between these two drivers. They respect each other. They really like working together off track. Let's see how well they can work with each other on track on the run to the Wall of Champions chicanes. And Cowie's got the nose ahead. Cowie's clear. Move done for Andrew Cowan. Moves himself up one more spot.
Beautiful, smooth overtake there as well. Very respectful from both drivers, but Cowie loves driving this car and he's on the hunt now. He qualified in 12th position, got caught up in that earlier incident and had nowhere to go, so it wasn't his fault. But now he's just pushing as hard as he can now, so good to see him up there. He's made up a few more positions from where he dropped back down to as well, so back up into 21st position. Great to see him up there.
Have to keep our eyes a little bit further down the road. The next spot up the road from Mr. Andrew Cowan is a huge battle pack of about 4 cars. And have a look at this one that's on for young and old at the moment. Reese DeGoey's doing a great job at recovering this thing. Been around twice, been around and involved in 2 major incidents. And Mr. Schultz down the inside. Great job there from the After Dark Sim Racing 64 entry. Another spot there for Daniel Schultz. The recovery effort has been strong for him. Now we get to see on screen the battle that I was talking about. Greg Leake in behind him will be, sorry, I've now lost it. Jeremy Bush. Blake Delaney's just chilling at the back end of this pack. He's just really comfortable. He's chilling. He's hanging out. He's had a failure. Something's going on. He's basically out of this race. So he's just circulating, picking up a bag of points at this point in time. Leakey defending very hard here from a strong, hard charging Jeremy Bush. Both of these guys participating in your Monday Night NASCAR Truck Series. Both these guys having a good old-fashioned race in that. A little bit of damage to the rear wing of Greg Leake. And Jeremy Bush got a huge drive off of the hairpin. That is job done for Jeremy Bush. Is Leake going to have a go again around the outside here on the run of the chicane? Oh, he is. He's brake later. He's there.
Oh, come on.
He's on his way to the pit lane.
I thought the move was on there. Whoa. Woo. Yeah, that was a bit puckery, wasn't it? Yes, definitely.
Yeah, really good thing that Jeremy Bush didn't opt to take the racing line there because there would have been a leak buried in the rear end of his car. Leak's great for cooking with, not great for burying in the rear end of cars.
Yeah, definitely in a suit, not in the back of your car. Definitely not. Mister and mate, Gerard up 24 spots, so he was up 29 spots before he pitted there, so he's gone down 5 spots there, but he's got some serious pace in that performance sim racing car there, so very, very quick in there today, so big shout out to those boys.
A couple more battle packs, and I think you guys have just popped onto it. Yeah, Jared Sanfuentes obviously has already completed his pit stop. The wingless Ford Mustang just up the road from these guys, the 28 entry, I believe, Callan Hodgkinson, still hasn't pit since his first pit stop on the end of lap number 1. Filing down the inside immediately on the 74. Is he going to pull it up? He has pulled it up, but now he's going to get the car turning back onto the power. So it's going to be Sanfuentes who's got the move to make on Paulie Curlin. Curlin's made a whole host of spots up as well. He's up P8 spots from starting in P20. Done a great job at defending that one from the outside. You don't see that a lot on the run through the hairpin.
And that's a good way to give big shout out for DSL Welding Services. Thank you very much for your
support. Here comes the run though. This is not a move you often see. Poor run there through in the defensive line from Paulie Curlin. Means that Gerard Sanfuentes gets the move done. The critical factor here for Gerard is that he has pitted. He does not want to get held up by these guys. He needs as much clear track as he possibly can do to get that move done. Dylan DeBono back in P5 at this point in time. I get the feeling he might have already pit. And indeed, Dylan DeBono has driven through the pit. Car ahead of him is Stevie Martin, who has yet to pit, so that will return him back up to P number 3. And Darren Lobb is now serving his second pit stop of the night. Jamie Dyke is yet to file on through, so I think Dyke's got another lap here. So Darren Lobb critical for the race situation. Another 67 car off the track yet again from Steven Sinkovich. The Spinovich wars continue.
All these teammates working together here.
working together or hardly working at all. It's the fight
yeah.
here from the Riot Sim Racing boys. They will go toe-to-toe. They will not give each other an inch because it's all about good racing from Stefan Lawrence and Alan Dawson. The battle will continue for these guys as well. On the run down to the hairpin this time, going very defensive, so there is no team orders there at all. The
Definitely
24
not, eh? They're just going hard out at it.
From Dean Sinkovic holding off the number 9 machine of Mal Powell. So we'll see if Mal can send that V8 Supercar down the inside of Dean down here. No, didn't get a great run off the third chicane of the lap. Lock up from the car ahead of them is going to be from Matty Keane, who's struggling. Keane actually had an issue, wasn't able to grid the car up. Might have worked out in his favour, though, for Matty Keane. Wasn't involved in the lap 1 chaos.
Oh, yeah. It's been a lot of chaos so far.
Yeah, Dylan Sabono was just going very, very slow, and Daniel Clutterbuck's made his way back around him.
Yeah, what's happened there? Is he just...
Still going slow.
Has he run out of fuel?
No, he's picked it up again. So I'd say he's cut a corner.
Yeah, he would have just had to wash it off. Yeah, true.
He's had a slowdown penalty. The problem with iRacing is every corner you go continues to add to a slowdown penalty. So you're actually better off serving it as quickly as you possibly can. Just by going through the chicane, he would have added another second to that slowdown penalty that he would have had to clear. So that's cost him more and more and more time for Dylan DeBoney. Clear it as quickly as you possibly can. Stefan Lawrence, Alan Dawson, that battle continues, but it looks like Dawson's now got the upper head on Stefan Lawson. So that's phenomenal for those guys. Jamie Dyke will now pit from the race lead. Darren Lobb has completed his stop and come out behind Trixier to the tune of 3 seconds. So Tixier has taken off with this thing. Clear track might have been the go-to there, and Darren Lobb might have had a few lap cars to deal with.
I think so. Stephen Martin's just had a bit of a crash there, it seems. Just popped up, unfortunately. Who knows about that one, but beautiful racing still going on from these guys. Do you think we'll see another safety car in the midst towards the pointy end of this race, or do you think everyone's... Oh, Mr. Keefe, Mr. Matt Keane in the SLM car. Oh, just the hairpin taking another victim, Scotty.
He saw a good bit of herbs over on the inside of that one. He was looking to pick that up, add to his dinner for tomorrow night. He's just wanted to go out there and pick it up.
He was like, parsley, I need some of that.
I'll swing back by. I'll grab it again the next lap.
Wife's on the phone. Make sure you pick up parsley and milk.
Have you seen the dad joke? Go buy 2 bottles of milk. If they've got avocados, get 6, and the husband comes home with 6 bottles of milk because they had avocados.
So good. I love it. That's so gold. Oh,
Comedy
out
here.
Jokes. I love it. I love it. You know, my favourite is how do you get Pikachu on a bus? Your Pokemon.
Get out. There's only room for one of us in the commentary box that does this.
We're just getting told off by Shibby in the background now. Yeah. Only one bad joke per streamer allowed now, apparently, guys.
We'll keep this up. We'll keep this up, Toddy. The stream's going to go silent to the end of the race. Battle between Mal and the Sinkovic has continued on. Ding's doing a great job to hang on to this one. Mal's got a fair bit of rubbing to the inside of that car. And apparently we have got more cars off the second. No, so it's Blake and Ty.
Massive hits. Mick Locke, we've got John Day off, we've got Andrew Cowie off, we've got, wow. Not sure what's happened there. Got a bit of...
Safety car? Question mark? Okay, so Blake and Ty Delaney, I think, are just chilling out. They're just having fun. They just want to drive laps together, so they were just trying to find some space on the track to do that.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. So just iRacing.
Not there, guys. Not there, please. Oh. Please keep going. Don't do it there.
Yeah, not right at turn 1. Oh, so John Day pulled up in the pits trying to avoid all that mayhem.
Oh, speaking of cars that are incredibly bent up, I've just seen Steven Sinkovic missing a front end coming off of the hairpin. So something has happened to Steven Sinkovic. We'll get back to
full custom Mustang, yeah. Whoa, Mr. Spinovich living up to his nickname at the moment. Wow, He definitely. That's not how you should customize a Mustang, mate.
Can we call him front bumpers are optional, Spinovich?
Yeah. Wow, hey, not even a headlight left, eh? Nothing.
Look, this right here, ladies and gentlemen,
wow.
this is our Ford
Black
Mustang
tagging?
pull-apart car. This is so you can see the whole engine block and how the front end of this thing works. Now, we've actually managed to get this circulating out on track with the courtesy of Steven Sinkovich, who misses another braking zone. That's an escape road. He's disappeared down. Not a great night for Steven Sinkovich. Yeah. You know what, Chibi? That's a great idea. Get him off the broadcast so that his embarrassment...
Massive moment over the curve to the champions there. Wow, hey, that was a massive moment there.
Who was that? That was Daniel Clutterbuck trying to defend from Dylan DeBono. So he's managed to continue on with that one. Hasn't lost a huge deal of time. And the battle for the lead, it was 3 seconds when Darren Robb pit and came out, but it's now down to next to nothing. So Lobb is done with the fuel saving. Tixier might be the one that is fuel saving. He forces him wide. Tixier!
Big moment.
He's led a whole bunch of laps. Now here comes Jamie Dyke. He's going to lose 2 in the space of a quarter. Tixier's led a whole bunch of laps tonight. The moment he loses first, he doesn't just lose that. He loses second again. He's down to third. That is heartbreaking for Tixier.
Oh, he just got a bit too overzealous on the...
Pavlovich parked on the outside of the road.
Oh, he's had a bit of a moment too. He had a bit of a moment earlier on that chicane also. So
closing in on the 40-minute mark, and fatigue might be starting to play a factor. These drivers have had practice. They've had qualifying to get through. He's picked up a little bit too much curve there from Pavlovich. He's actually gotten away with it. He has gotten away with it.
Yeah, clipped the wall, but just kept it off enough that he hasn't. Doesn't even look like he's knocked it out of alignment too much. So that's good.
So what do you do in Tixier's shoes? Do you think his tyres will be toasted at the rear end of that car? He's got to look after them now. He's got to settle the car down. I did have a look at previous lap times. Darren Lobb was 1.1 at the last 3 laps in order of oldest to most recent. 1.1 second, 1.4 seconds, then 9 seconds obviously for the spin. But Jamie Dyke, 29 seconds better for Sebastian Tixier. That was his lap where he pitted for Jamie Dyke. Then 0.3. So it looks like the cars around him were actually starting to come on. So Tixier's tyres are gone. Now, Andrew Cowie is held up in another battle. Cowie starting to recover from what's been a tough night for the driver of the... Sorry, what number is Cowie? The 991 machine. Down the inside there. Petar Pavlovich was in the fence last lap, so this might be a gift that Cowie was not accepting. He's still got to get the move done. It's not over yet.
He'll keep on pushing back into 12th, where he started his position. So Hooper's stoked that he can get back there with a bit of help from his spotters and his team, I'm sure. He had a very smart pit there, so he's holding on to it now. So if he can make it up, I reckon he's even got a top 10 in him tonight. I reckon. Let's go, Cowie.
Daniel Schultz. Was that Matty Powell getting out of the way? It was Mal. It was Mal Powell getting out of the way. I thought that might have been a lap car actually moving out of the way. So keep your eyes on because Stevie Martin's the next car on the road here. Teammates with Peter Pavlovich. So they will want to keep an eye on this After Dark Sim Racing car from Daniel Schultz, suddenly starting to show a little bit of pace at the tail end of this race. 20 minutes now, just under 20 minutes left to go in tonight's racing. 24 laps. We're on our 24th circuit of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It has been chaos central. 35 cars entered here tonight. And I think we're seeing the results of what has been a full field. That track map, boys, is still packed.
It is absolutely rammed still, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. It's amazing that we've got so many cars on track. We have seen a couple of safety cars already. I predicted 2, so we're sitting at that still. So do you reckon we'll see another one, or?
We haven't seen the second one. We've only seen one so far, Todd. Are you getting a little bit excited?
Sorry, yeah, I am actually. Yeah, we saw one, but I think there should have been another one in the middle there, but who knows?
Toddy, look, you're a chef, mate. Math is supposed to be... You're supposed to be able to do these things. How many cups of flour have you added to the mixture?
Too many, mate. Too many. Yeah, it's too stodgy now. The bread's ruined.
You can always fix it. Add some more water. Add some more yeast. You'll get it back to you. You're just got to find that next to you.
Should be right, mate.
Yeah. Alan Dawson's done a great job here tonight in the 062 entry, still looking to make some moves on Paulie Gerlin, who's up a whole host of spots. So Dawson's only up 4, Gerlin's up 14, and Sanfuente's up 30 spots.
30 spots
30
now.
spots.
What an absolute champion. That is craziness. And we got Mr. Clutterbuck above him on up 10 places as well. So, yeah, and those guys in that 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th, all up bunch of places.
Is that Daniel Fritz just rejoining the track from out of the pits? So maybe this is drivers starting to complete their second stop.
Ooh, seems like it is. Yep.
Yes, the second was a 2-stop race here tonight, after all. Potentially. Don't quote us on that. In fact, don't quote us on anything here at SRW TV. That's generally not considered a great idea.
So we've got Bradley Wall into the pits, Michael Quatch into the pits as well.
Well, 15 minutes left in this race, 17 minutes left in this race. If those guys are pitting now, I don't think over the course of an hour you can save yourself 15 minutes of fuel.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Even with safety cars. Well, we get a safety car intervention now, maybe you can. But then again, at the other side of things, those guys have just pit. If you've taken tyres, spicy. We'll get very spicy in the late race. I'm kind of wishing for it, hoping for a safety car at this stage of the race.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely put a spanner in the works. Cat amongst the pigeons there. Reese DeGoey had a bit of an off, and Greg Johnson also, it seems.
It's been a torrid night for Reese DeGoey.
As he's been trying to put it together, and you know, sometimes tracks just don't work for you, or you just have a bad night sometimes, don't you? So.
That Pulse Racing Team entry has been backwards on the initial start and the restart. At least on the restart, it was only just a spin. It was just backwards. It wasn't bent or out of shape. Stevie Martin's still doing a phenomenal job for Century Motorsport, though. Actually been keeping an eye on him. I think that's actually a really good drive for Stevie Martin. He was Super 2 entry. This is actually a really good job from him.
Yeah, very good job. Very, very good job.
Up there and in contention in Super 2 last season. We'll see if he can do. Reminder that the Super 1 championship so far this season, we're actually missing a whole host of drivers. So if you have some buddies that are looking to compete, I think there's, how many drivers have we currently got in Super 1? Do you know at the moment, Toddy?
Oh, I'm not 100% sure on the split. Can we get that from Mr. Shibby?
You're just throwing basically more responsibility in Nathan Howard. Don't do that to him. He's had a long week, mate.
I just thought he could quickly check for us.
His computer's had a long week.
Yeah.
Just watching Daniel Schultz just go around the outside of, I believe that was Stevie Martin. Yep, so Daniel Schultz has picked up another spot. So Stevie Martin goes back one. Keep your eyes on Kiawi as well on his resurgence through the field. Still chasing down Peter Pavlovich. That battle, I reckon, might go to the line.
I think it might. I think he's got his elbows out, Mr. Pavlovich. He's had him out for a long time now. How long can he hold him off, though?
Stevie Martin has gotten back by. So Daniel Schultz took it away from him at the opening part of the lap. Stevie Martin has gotten back around him. So Tixier, whoa!
Into the
That's
pits, Tixier.
not what I want to see from Sebastian Tixier.
Wow, that was a toe to the pits, was it look like?
No, I don't think it was. I think that might just be a timing error.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
So he was not going to make it to the end on a single stop, so he's been forced to come back down into pit lane. Still resurfaces in P3, 30 seconds back off of Jamie Dyke, 15 seconds ahead though of Gerard Sanfuentes, who's still yet to serve his stop. So drivers starting to come through the pit lane. Dylan DeBono, the 101 machine of Daniel Clutterbuck is now in. David Coleman's into the pits as well, so Petar Pavlovich will start to slide up quite a few spots. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Paulie Gerlin might be in pit lane. Paulie Gerlin is indeed in pit lane. So a whole host of drivers have started coming through pit lane. So Jeremy Bush, you see, up to P8. That's pit lane, pit strategy affected position at this point in time.
Oh, Paul Gerlin coming out in 10th place. Coming out of pits into 10th place. Well done, mate. We've got 10 to 12 Super 1s in the mix, and the rest of the field is our Super 2s. out of 37 cars on track, guys.
And as usual, that goes along with the don't quote us on that one.
Yeah. It's an estimate because we do have fluctuating week to week because people have lives, etc., and sometimes can't make certain races, etc. So yeah.
Now, Toddy, if I had to say to you, what's your moment of the night so far? What will you remember from the streets of Montreal? What have you got for me?
Oh, I think that start was just because I remember the two bits that kind of mirrored some.
Well, hang on, we'll have to
racing.
take it away from you at the moment. Daniel Schultz is on his way down the inside here of
Stephen Martin.
Stephen Martin,
Oh,
yep,
sorry,
gets the move done. And Stephen Lawrence will be the next car up the road.
Yeah.
Only 1.8 seconds ahead. So here comes Daniel Schultz on a resurgence.
Big shout out to DragonRC. Thank you very much for your support in the V8s as well. Much love. Daniel Schultz is the owner.
Is on his way back through as well, who's just now into the pit lane. So great drive. Batar, that might actually release Cowie. But then again, Cowie pit on the last circuit, so has one lap of clean air for Cowie, been enough to get the undercut here on Batar Pavlovich. Pavlovich has immediately pit to cover him off. Cowie's just coming through. He's just come through the final chicane, going down the start-finish straight. Keep your eyes on that one. Michael Quash doing a great job. 2 cars immediately ahead of him is going to be Keane and Hodgkinson. So he will be extra keen to get past both of those drivers as soon as he possibly can. The rejoin here from Cowie comes just in front of Jeremy Bush, gets a huge tank slapper on coming out of turn number 1. Has Batar Pavlovich cleared him? Batar Pavlovich has cleared him by a whole host of track time. So Cowie, pit stop did not work out when he wanted it.
Oh, he's dropped down a few spots there. Oof. And it always sucks when you think you got it right and then you jump out, and it's just hard when you've got so many cars on track as well, where you have to slot in.
What a drive from Brady Wall, who's just not come through that chicane all that well, and all of a sudden Cowie's had to go avoiding. Michael Quash still trying to fight through. That's the images now. So Brad Wall was ahead of Andrew Cowan. He's dropped 2 spots, 1 to Cowie, 1 to Jeremy Bush to a slot through as well. So Brad's got another recovery effort on his side of things. He has completed his last pit stop, and just about everyone in the field has come down and finished their final stops off. Cars yet to pit. Darren Lobb, Jamie Dyke, Gerard Sanfuentes. Fuentes will be real low on the tank. Expect him in the next lap or 2.
Oh, Colin Hodgkinson. Yeah, he just got another wing on the back of that thing. Oh, and he's really slowed down Stephen Martin then.
Mal Powell also yet to pit and complete his final stop. And that looks, I don't know if there is actually any more drivers that are still circulating, haven't done their stop. Ty Delaney, Reese DeGoey both yet to stop. Other than that, everyone else has yet pitted. So we'll keep an eye out for our leaders coming out pit lane.
Big moment from Colin Hodgkinson trying to get it, just hit that left-hand side of a bit of grass there. And he's missed his pit stop.
He's made it through. Callan Hodgkinson does not, Callan Hodgkinson does need to pit. That might have been the lap for Hodgkinson to go in, but won't be so.
Hopefully he's got enough to get him through round on another lap, because that can... She's kept it out of the wall, though. Very good to keep it out of the wall. Wow.
Didn't have much of a choice there, though, to be fair to Callan Hodgkinson. He was past the pit lane entry. He'd have to reverse to get back in there.
Yeah, it would not be good. So you might see him short shifting a lot to try and get around this lap so he can get back to the pits. I'm sure he's pretty low on fuel there. Mick Locks just had a bit of a moment back there as well.
Mick Lock, unfortunately, 2 laps down at this point in time, getting out of the way of cars as they file their way back through. Indeed, it was Daniel Schultz who was getting out of the way of. Schultz is now passed and ahead of David Coleman, although Schultz did pit quite early. Coleman was just recently in and out of that box. So Daniel Schultz is now up into the top 10. And the final car, one of the final 3 cars in the top 10 to complete their final stops is Gerard Sanfuentes. He's on his way out of pit lane at this point in time. Yep, he's going to rejoin on the run down into turn number 1. And he's only a few seconds up the road here of Daniel Schultz. So that might be a fight we'll have our eyes out for in the closing stages. 8.5 minutes on the clock. And Darren Lobb is in, which says to me Jamie Dyke cannot make it. So there will be one more stop for both of those guys, and Lobb is getting his out of the way now. Wants to have a crack at things. So Dyke, can you do it?
Was Tixier's pit earlier to try and undercut then, maybe.
Well, Tixier's now held up behind a very ailing Steven Sinkovic,
Yes.
who is still circulating.
In that heavily customized Mustang, we'll say. But good
Yeah,
on him, staying on track, but staying out of people's way as well.
Show
which
car.
is good
It's
on
a
him.
show car. That's all. Get to see all the working bits and pieces. Ty Delaney from Fishing Motorsports going to be setting his final pit stop off.
Oh,
And
beautiful move.
David Coleman on the run down into the hairpin. Gets up alongside Daniel Schultz. Schultz is going to go for the real big over-under, and Coleman parks it there and says, you're going to have to drive through me to get that one done. Schultz did not get the power down cleanly, but he has got a draft. There might be another opportunity down at the Wall of Champion chicane. It is the run down the Droit du Casino, French for straight du Casino. Straight of Casino. Casino straight.
Casino straight.
Yeah, I
Pretty
took French class. It's good to see they finally paid off.
Oh, wow. Hey, look at that. Eh? Nice.
Only taken me 20 years to get something out of them.
What else do you remember of the language, though? I didn't like
Merci.
Yeah, I hate that. Eh? I think I did like 3 years of Mandarin, and all I remember is how to order a hamburger and a Coca-Cola. Essentially, it's rubbish.
Look,
at least I can feed myself.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'd prefer to be able to remember that. At least I couldn't order myself a hamburger and a Coke in French.
Yeah. Oh no, I could. I'm all right with French, being the whole chefy thing. Oui. Ah, poo, poo, poo. No.
Yeah. Look, I think Nathan's getting his hands hovering over that mute button.
Yeah, he is. He's about to cut me off, I think.
If we cut out at any stage, but the broadcast's still going, you know that we've got standards to uphold. Apparently,
Mr. Jamie Dyke is still sitting out in front there, and he's
Is he fuel safe? You're gonna have to go on board for me, Toddy. Go do some investigative journalism.
I think so. What do we got? Mr.
You know what?
Jamie Dyke, he's got a good buffer with 6 minutes to go. He might have just master stroked this. You never know. We've been talking about Darren Lobb the whole time and Tixier because he had a bit of a moment, but who knows?
I taught him everything he knows in terms of fuel saving. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Nice. Oh yeah, cool. yeah. Unless it doesn't pay off for him and you didn't. Right?
Yeah, that was all him. I didn't do it.
Yeah, it was all him. Yeah. Oh, Ty Delaney's had a bit of a moment. Jeremy Bush as well.
He's going to do another lap, so Dyke has got a fair bit of fuel left over in that tank.
Oh, they are pushing. He is pushing hard. Look at this. He is pushing hard. He wants to keep this lead, and he wants to keep it away from him. He's keeping it around that 14-second buffer there. It's very, very smart of him. Very cleanly making it through the pack as well.
Have a look at the lap time from Darren Lopp, though. 1:35.4 took 1.2 seconds out of Jamie Dyke. So he's
Wowee, that's crazy.
That is Brad Wall struggling to get back to the racing lines. Michael Quash is going to show the nose down the inside. Wall's a little bit deep in the chicane. Has managed to get it back under wraps. Now Quash, will he show the nose? Will he back out of that one? It's going to be all on down to the braking zone down here, but Brad Wall's got that one covered. It's Jeremy Bush and Stevie Martin just in behind this battle. Cowie's up ahead. Was that Cowie nearly in the fence?
It's Greg Johnson just up on the side there. Just letting people by, I think. I think it's just giving people space there a bit, so. Oh, Stephen Martin within the KFC car, making a beautiful move there. Century Motorsports car there.
That's a great move from Stevie Martin. And there was actually a little bit of a thank you said on the radio there from Stevie Martin, so I think that may have been premeditated. They may have lined that one up. I don't think Jeremy Bush thought he could defend that one off. Paulie Gerlin, what a race from Paulie Gerlin.
Yeah, man, he's been fighting tooth and nail everyone off, eh? He's had to have his elbows out.
David Coleman's had a take to the cross. Pulls it up nicely.
Laying on the pressure here, as well as Coleman laying on the pressure also. Who's going to come out?
Got a great run off the corner here. He's got the inside line. Lap traffic trying to get out of the way, and David Coleman, after being on the grass on the run on turn number 1, gets the move done by turn 3. Jamie Dyke is in the lane, so he will serve his final pit stop of the race. He's in, a splash, now on the dash. Does he get back out in front of our race leader of Darren Lobb? No, Lob is
That
gone, Ski.
Yeah,
And
he's got a
Tixier is third. Tixier is a mile back from this one, so Tixier's spin has not only cost him the lead, it's cost him P2.
Ouch, that's got to hurt as well. And there's 7 seconds behind as well. And it seems to be almost 7 seconds, but it seems to be getting a larger margin, larger interval as we speak. So, poor guy. That's unfortunate for him, but Jamie Dyke has definitely profited from this. It'll be interesting to see whether Jamie Dyke can make it through this back traffic, see if he can try and get back on the back of him. But at this point in time, I don't think this is how we're going to finish. But look at that, unless something happens and commentator curse happens.
Safety car. Safety car.
Ooh, safety car. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. We've got 1 lap to white flag, guys. 1 lap to white flag.
Have a look at how thick the traffic is, and remember, from Jamie Dyke, he's got to be kind and courteous to these guys because they are squabbling for position. Speaking of squabbling for position, Brad Wall and Michael Quash, they are still going after it. Just up ahead of them, the leader, Darren Lobb, is going to cross the start-finish line, so we might actually squeak, and indeed we will squeak 1 more lap, so there'll be 2 laps left to go. So this one has got 2 laps to come to conclusion. Can Brad Wall hang on for all his money to a P14 finish in a mixed field of Super 1 and Super 2s? He's got a good margin here over Michael Quash. Will the leader, the P2 of Jamie Dyke, have a part to play in this one? Because they will have a responsibility to get out of the way. And indeed, Michael Quash is trying to do so straight away. How quickly will Brad Wall try and get out of the way now? Will he manage to utilise the blue flags to actually pick up a little bit of time? Strategic use of the blue flag might come into Brad Wall's favour.
Oh, and it's hard sometimes on spots in this track to get out of the way effectively as well. So, but he's coming up on him very hot.
2 drivers that are still fighting tooth and nail is David Coleman and Paul Gerlin. So, Paul Gerlin is now, that battle was a lot closer at the start of the lap. It's now 1.52 seconds. Is the margin. Stefan Lawrence is starting to get hunted down very quickly by David Coleman. He's pulling seconds out. Big moment for Brad Wall, and there goes Michael Quash. So Wall could not hang on to it. He kept it out of the wall, does Brad Wall. Now he's got Jeremy Bush. He got clear of him under the pit stop sequence, but now he's back in there behind him, and the white flag will come out this next time by. So he's got 1 lap to see if he can squeak 1 more spot out of it. Darren Lobb on the second to last run into the Wall of Champions chicane. He's done a phenomenal job keeping that car clean. He was happy. He was content to follow Tixier until Tixier had his moment, and pit strategy played itself in Lobb's favour. Now he'll get the white flag. 1 lap left to run from the streets of Montreal.
God, Mr. Darren Lobb with absolutely fantastic race. Kept his cool and has been very smart about his pit stops. I think where he really gained that advantage is when we had that safety car and he jumped in the pit straight away.
Keep your eyes on that gap between Dave Coleman and Stefan Lawrence as well, because Coleman just took a second out of Lawrence in the first sector. I think Lawrence might be short on fuel.
Oh, he's clutching in, he's short shifting, he's braking early. We got Gerard up there, up 29 positions from his starting position. Up there in 6th place. That is an impressive drive.
That is an impressive drive. Timer has now kicked over. We are now at the hour mark as SDK decides it wants to be a mixture of 59 and 1 hour. Take your eyes off that one. So Sebastian Tixier is just said something on the radio. I don't quite know what that was, but Darren Lobb has got 1 more straight to go and a chicane to navigate, which he will do successfully and pick up the first win of the season, followed by Jamie Dyke and Tixier. Dylan DeBono will come home in a really well-respectable 4th position, considering he was packed back in that pack. He'll take 4th every day of the week, and I think that's what his aim was. 5th position, Alan Dawson. That's a drive for Dawson as well. That's a phenomenal drive. San Fuentes, Stefan Lawrence at this point in time. Michael Locke has just called to race control and said, can I please get a tow or park somewhere I don't want to be? He's at the 3rd chicane. Darren Lobb flashes the lights, comes home to celebrate in Montreal.
Beautiful work.
Wins race number 1. Now, keep your eyes back. Remember what I said about David Coleman and Stefan Lawrence? They are together. That'll be Jamie Dyke crossing the start-finish line. The Fishy Motorsports team will celebrate. Tixier hasn't had the race that he would have liked, but he'll still end up on the podium. Led a bunch of laps tonight. 1 went begging. That's Dylan DeBono. I want to see, Nathan, if you can, Coleman and Lawrence. They're within a second of each other. This gap, with 3 laps to go, was out over 3 seconds. So there's going to be a few gaps to keep your eyes on. Huge moment. He's blocked it. He's still there as Stefan Lawrence, but now where does Coleman position the car? P7, the battle for this one, and Lawrence has had it for a long period of time. Does not want to give this one up. Coleman is lurking, goes high, tries to turn it around. He'll get back to the gas. He's got the draft, another wiggle. The rear tires are screaming at Stefan Lawrence. A straight chicane to navigate. Is Coleman going to get there? Coleman moves left. Lawrence is going to hug the inside. It's a damn drag race too. The last chicane of the lap. He's not going to give this one up into the braking zone. Parks it nicely on the inside. Stefan Lawrence looking for the crisscross. Won't get the drive, Davey Lawrence. That's a great drive to get back to P8 for David Coleman. And Stefan Lawrence hangs onto it across the line.
Beautiful, beautiful racing. Beautiful racing. And we've had battles all over the field tonight as well. And this is another one. Brad Walls just slipped back a few spots there. But Stephen Martin having a great drive.
Racing's actually completed. The only car that was left across the line was Peter Pavlovich, who has now done so. First race of the season, run, one, and done. And that's all she wrote from Montreal.
Beautiful. And we'll see these guys do a few burnouts now, I'm sure. A few victory burnouts.
Only if they've got enough fuel left.
Yeah, true. This is very, very true. So, Mr. Lob, very, very nice. Our winner tonight in first place, Jamie Dyke. Mr. Jamie Dyke slotting up into the second spot after that late little bit of a mistake there from Sebastian Tixier.
There'll be no celebratory burnouts from him. He is out of fuel.
He was, completely out of fuel. Mr. Dylan De Bono in fourth place with a great drive, great comeback, we should say, towards the with the pointy end of that race. So good work from him to make it into the fourth position there. Wrapping out our top 5 is Mr. Alan Dawson in the Riot Sim Racing car. Great drive from him. Gerard Sanfuentes, he was up 29 positions, mate, from his original spot in the number 12 car there. Stefan Lawrence in the 7th position. David Coleman in 8th. Daniel Schultz in 9th. And Paul Gerlin wrapping at our top 10. Paul Gerlin had a great race tonight there as well. Peter Pavlovich in 11th. Andrew Cowie back into his starting position, his qualifying position, which was in 12th. So he'll be happy that he's gotten back in there, but he would have wanted to make a few more positions up, I'm sure. Mr. Matty Keane down in 13th. Michael Quash in 14th there. Stephen Martin in 15th. Bradley Wall in 16th. Jeremy Bush in 17th. Mal Powell, Mr. Mal Powell in 18th. Mr. Clutterback, Daniel Clutterback, 19th spot. And wrapping out our top 20 is Andrew Lang. So very good drive from everybody tonight. But it's been a massive, massive field. And we'll bring some of our drivers down into the room soon, and we'll have a bit of a chat, bit of a post race. What a race! Yeah.
3 separate incidents on lap number 1, just about blocking the track at 3 separate locations. One car failed to get rolling off of the grid. Nearly had an issue, much the same as Tommy Randall actually had today in the V8 Supercars race, of not rolling that car off of the front row.
Yeah, it's crazy, wasn't it? It was just art imitating life, or life imitating art imitating life, really, wasn't it? Yeah, it was very very succinct. So it was cool to see. But I thought we would have had a few more safety cars come out, didn't you?
Well, you're counting every safety car twice, apparently. So we did have 2.
Yes, yeah, it's double day. Yeah.
Double Dutch
day. So we got Mr. Darren Lobb. This is the start of our race again. So come back up here. So bring some guys down. Who shall we bring down? Mr.
Tell you what, I've been keeping my eyes on Peter Pavlovich. He did celebrate. Keep your eyes in the background of this shot. You can see the parking lot way up at the back end of the field. Tixier will get the jump on Dyke. Dyke's down the inside. This was really well defended.
Beautifully defended.
He just parked it.
Mr. Shibi, may you assist?
So at the moment, it looks like we've got our second place finisher in terms of Jamie Dyke is in there at this point in time. I'm wondering if we can get anyone else. We'll get in touch with our race controllers and see if they can get them all into the podium room.
Okay, we'll bring down Mr. Darren Lobb, our race winner, first, and then bring down Jamie Dyke after that. So, Mr. Lobb.
Yeah, I saw that at one stage. I
Hello, Mr. Darren Lobb. We've just pulled you down into the interview room. Sorry, mate.
It sounds like what normally happens for the benefit of everyone watching out there is and I know I'm guilty of this, and I know a few other guys are guilty of this. They jump into the podium room and they'll be like, "Oh, did you see that move on this lap? Oh yeah, what was your fuel strategy like? What were you doing?" So what were you guys talking about just there in the green room between yourself and Jamie Dyke there, Darren?
Yeah, we were actually just talking about fuel strategy, and Jamie was just saying he didn't have the pace to run with me, so he was just doing a bit of fuel saving to get ahead of Tixier. And I said, shit, I wasn't sure what he was doing because my fuel numbers were jumping all over the place. And at one stage, I was saying before that last pit stop that I only needed 10 litres, and I knew I had short filled, and I hadn't really been doing a good job at saving. So I thought, oh, this is going to be really close. It's like 1.5 laps kind of thing. And then it slowly started jumping back up to 18 litres, and I kind of knew I was safe from there.
Incredible start. It was all about controlling the launch and controlling things and getting away. You managed to hold both Tixier and Dyke off on the run in the first chicane. Safety car come out. You found yourself in a really opportunistic position just because the safety car just didn't happen to pick up the leader. So what goes through a racer's mind when you know that the safety car is obviously looking and trying to pick up the leader? It's come out of the pits behind you. That's just how it goes sometimes. But you've got to make the most of those moments within a racing situation. You lost one spot out on track, but you got that little bit of an extra fuel advantage.
Yeah, I actually saw that, and I remember just before that we were running a manual safety car, because clearly you don't get that kind of benefit when you're running the iRacing safety car. And I couldn't really believe that I had that much of a gap to the rest of the field. I mean, Sebastian and Jamie were kind of near, but there was a massive gap. I didn't change tyres. I chickened out and only took about 6 litres, and I probably still had time to take tyres. And then clearly Jamie got the one up on the next lap by doing the same thing to me. So he had a little bit more fuel, but I think we both left Tixier for dead doing that. So yeah, you just got to be awake to all these kind of things, I suppose. It's we've had a bit of time running the league, and yeah, you just got to get used to it, I guess. What's it? Early bird catches the worm, right?
You've got to at least be awake and on your bike to get those opportunities in. Talk to us a little bit about the streets of Montreal. It's a tricky track, bouncing it over the curbs. There's a couple spots where if you place the car super perfectly, the car doesn't actually pick up the curbs and you can ride it really well, particularly that third chicane.
Yeah, it's a track I've always enjoyed. I don't know if I particularly enjoy watching motor racing around the track, but it's always been a track that I've enjoyed driving. And I don't know what it is. It's kind of difficult. It's a bit of a weird track to drive, but I've always kind of gone well here. So when I saw this week that first round was Montreal, I thought, shit, let me get going. And I don't know if I was looking as forward to it when we ran Montreal early in the Scop season. iRacing had done a big tighten up on the 1Xs and the slowdowns, and you really couldn't really run the chicanes hard, particularly that third chicane. But I don't know if there's been a change since then. It kind of feels like the Montreal of old. And
Yeah, they have walked that back, or not completely, but a fair bit. The slowdown penalties when you do overcut the chicanes are still as they were probably from when you were running Scops, but the 1Xs are certainly not.
yeah, it just makes it a lot more flowing and just a lot easier. A lot more enjoyable track, I think. I quite enjoy them like this. And the lap time isn't getting the chicanes right so that you kind of straddle those curbs, particularly that third chicane. There's so much lap time in it. And yeah, I've done heaps of laps around here, so it's definitely a track I enjoy. And thank you, iRacing, for rolling back the 1Xs. I did cop a slowdown, I think, in qualifying. They were like 4 or 5 seconds. They're really, really brutal, but luckily I didn't get away with any in the race. Oh, having said that, I actually did pick up one. I just outbraked myself in that first session, in that first into the race, running behind Sebastian when he went into the pits. I just completely forgot to brake for the last chicane, so I did get a slowdown. I can't say I was squeaky clean on that.
It is quite difficult. I mean, particularly running into the pits when the car ahead of you, because a lot of the times when you're going into those spots, you are just watching what the car ahead of you is doing, and you're reacting largely based upon what they're doing. So it's a unique circumstance where the pit lane feeds off from Montreal.
Yeah, it is. It was a little bit tricky in qualifying. There were cars coming out the pits and cars on a hot lap, so it is quite tricky. But I think it's also one of those tracks where you make the mistake once of bulking a car on the lap or running too wide and catching a car in the pits. And I don't know who did that in Formula One, Sonoda or something like that, where he plowed on straight there into the pits, into the tires. So yeah, you gotta be careful. But I suppose it's like any track on iRacing. They've all got their own intricacies, and yeah, I quite enjoy the walls here. I quite enjoy the trees and the curbs, and it makes the supercar a fun car to drive around here.
Mate, we'll move on to what the plan is for next week. We're heading off to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, locally confirmed as Mo Sport Park. It is going to be a sprint race. It'll be a night race. There's actually not a lot of night lighting at that track, so we'll be relying on the lights of the V8 Supercars. Done much running around Mo Sport?
Yeah, it's a tough track in the supercar. We actually ran there early in the season in Scops as well, and it's really a tough track in the supercar. But once you get it flowing, you got to do some weird setup stuff to get the car going there. But it definitely makes for good racing. I'm a bit upset. I'm not gonna be around here for the next 2 weeks. I'm actually heading back to South Africa to visit the family for a few weeks. So I'm going to let all the other boys have a bit of fun at Mosport without me. But based on where I've positioned my car at the moment, somewhere around half the lap around the track, I probably would have been starting from the back in any case, having not managed my slowdown lap. Too many skids after the checkered flag.
Well, congratulations, Darren. Your opportunity to thank all the people who make it possible for you.
Just a quick one, saying hi to my mates back in Oz, DPR, the racing team I'm part of, and then just our sponsors, some reset sponsors, our team across in Oz, and then my local sponsor Barry Mannon from MRP Race Products here in New Zealand. And you guys, thanks again for a great broadcast and a great league. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
Congratulations, Darren Lorber. Round number 1, your race winner. Will let you go and celebrate with the others. I think, Chef Toddy, that sort of did tell a lot of the elements of it. It was about managing the curves, about driving the car nice and cleanly. I think he covered a lot of that off.
Yeah, most definitely. It was about definitely about keeping it on all 4 tires, wasn't it? As soon as you start to go up on 2, ends pretty quickly, doesn't it? So.
Okay, so we're going to be moving on to our second place finisher here tonight, which will be Mr. Jamie Dyke. Unfortunately, though, that'll be the end of our interviews at this stage. Sebastian Tixier unable to join us here in the green room, but we'll move on to who has joined us in the broadcast booth, because this isn't his only run in the broadcast booth. You've picked up a lot of responsibilities around here lately, Mr. Jamie Dyke.
Rankin, Toddy, how are we? Yeah, I thought
Awesome.
I'd chip in with the SRW admin and race control and broadcast department, and I love the league, so I thought I'd pitch in, help a hand.
Absolute pleasure to have you, mate.
Talk to us a little bit about Montreal. It's tight, it's twisty. Did you actually manage to get a single qualifying lap in where you were comfortable? There wasn't sort of anyone in an awkward spot for you at all tonight?
My banker was really clean. And I ended up improving on it slightly. But, I've never really gelled with this track. But yeah, I've got some, raw pace. But it's just Montreal's never been a strong suit for me. So to pull out the strategy, I didn't have the pace for Darren. Darren was just too quick around here, and I ended up pulled strategy over Seb. I didn't take tyres in the last stop just to make sure I got out a few seconds ahead of him, and tried to hold that gap, which worked out nicely.
What was it a big surprise to sort of come around the hairpin one time and just see Seb just parked on the inside there, firing the tyres back up and trying to get the thing pointed back in the right direction? Probably not a gift you were expecting this evening?
No, I didn't think so. And then the moment I saw him, I'm like, oh, maybe Darren's in a bit of trouble here, but it's not a mistake that Seb usually makes, but yeah, benefited me greatly.
next up, we just had a look at the calendar. We're heading to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. It is a tricky, twisty, undulating circuit. You've got a multiple different braking zones. We've really got to tinker with the brake pedal. You can't just set and forget with the brakes there. It's technical, it's twisty, it's tight. Do you have the setup that you think you'll go well there next week?
Yep, definitely. Mosport is my strongest. Outside of Coda, it's my strongest track. It's what got me almost the top 10 in Scops in qualifying, and that pre-qual for that round is what got me into the Logitech series. I'm very confident around Mosport, and bit disappointed, bit sad that Darren's not going to be there next week, but it should still be a good race.
Yeah, just saw your comment in the thing, Jamie, saying, boo, would have been a good race next week.
Yeah, no, I'm very confident. A lot of the tracks coming up, I'm more confident than Montreal, so we'll see.
Let's talk a little bit about the team environment going on over there at Fishy Motorsports there tonight. We did obviously both of the Delaney's having a little bit of fun. They were actually just more out there to hang out, participate, and be on track together. Is that a new thing? Obviously, this is Ty just starting his sim racing journey. How does the team deal with that? How do you interact with that? Is there coaching that goes down in Ty's direction? Are you guys trying to bring him up, really bring him into the fold and make him a competitive sim racer? Or is it just all about being out there on track, enjoying the racing for what it's worth?
It's a bit of both, really. Try to get him out there on track, do as many laps as he can, and he obviously enjoys it. And then we will help Ty along as much as we can in every race. The Delaney's actually recently moved house, and Blake's rig was being set up during practice. So unfortunately, Blake didn't get.
That would make sense. Yep. Okay.
He didn't get to set a qualifying time, and he got the wheels on it during the grid and got out for the grid, and that's where he started.
So it looks like he may have had a few hardware failures along the way.
Oh yeah, putting the rig together. I don't think Sim Hub was running properly, and there's a few issues and kinks with moving house. But hey, we'll get that all sorted tonight, and we'll be rock and rolling next week.
Looking forward in terms of alternate series, tomorrow night brings us the NASCAR Truck Series from the Daytona Road Course. Looking forward to that one, mate?
Definitely. A road course. You guys know how strong we are competitively around road. It's probably my best chance to get a podium in the trucks, considering everyone is quick around the ovals. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
What are your thoughts on with your league is elected to go this season with if you cut the chicane, you've got to come to a complete stop before you can continue on. It's something unique, something you don't see anywhere else in iRacing, and the league's actually attempting to bring that unique level of atmosphere to the racing.
Oh, it's the realistic rule, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah, we should be trying to go towards that realism, and yeah, I'm all for it. I was always all for it.
Yeah, pretty much the way that Jamie Dyke works is racing. I'm all for it. That's just how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mazdas, MX-5s, it doesn't matter. Jamie Dyke will be out on track, and tonight he celebrates with P number 2 from the streets of Montreal. Who makes it possible for the Fishy Motorsports family?
Obviously, I'd like to thank our sponsors: Infinity Designs, Precision Sim Training, DC Shades, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, Adrenaline Images, West End Mazda, Parramatta Zuzu, Parramatta Peugeot Professionals, Parramatta Great Wall, and Haval, and everyone in the team. We've been gelling nicely and doing everything we can. Team did amazing in the 24, and yeah, we should finish off the rest of the year pretty strong. So well done, guys.
Congratulations to Jamie Dyke and the Fishy Motorsports family on another podium. They continue to run strong in everything sim racing world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from the podium. That's it from the broadcast booth in the first Super Sunday of the year, Chef Toddy. Well,
yeah, we do have one last big announcement, actually.
Do we?
For round 2. We should sometime for round 2, around next week, should be able to announce some new sponsors for the series, etc. as well. So that should be pretty cool. So yeah, keep your hats on for that one, and keep tuned. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well. Send us some love, guys. Just keep that notification bell on so you can keep the announcements on so you can hear what's coming up.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed everything that you've seen here tonight from the Sim Racing World V8 Supercars from Montreal, don't forget tomorrow night we've got the NASCAR Truck Series returning to your screens. Tuesday night will be the Dirt Oval Series and the Sprint Cars. You'll see our producer, Nathan Howard, get behind the wheel once again. A lot of practice goes into that. A lot of practice, hopefully, provides us with a better result on Tuesday night for Nathan Howard. Wednesday will be the TCRs, followed by the Formula 3. The TCRs went door to door, banging wheels, and came away with what has been one of the most exciting races so far this season. From the streets of Montreal. We'll see how that continues. Following them, we will have the Formula 3. We saw 2 safety cars to kick us off from Formula 3 from Okayama. Will there be more? Will the chaos continue to unfold in Formula 3? Thursday nights, you'll have your SR8, SR10 Radicals. Following that will be the continuation of the Porsche Cup Series. There'll be a big old break. And then finally, on Saturday and Sunday night will be your IndyCar and V8 Supercars, respectively. The trip to Mosport Park. We stay in Canada next week for what is sure to be another thrilling round. My name is Scotty Rattlegun Rankin. He's Chef Toddy. Behind the cameras has been Nathan Howard. And this has been another broadcast brought to you at the speed of light of a NASCAR pit stop. We'll see you next time on the SRW TV Racing World Productions.
Much love, legends. Keep safe.